Hey everybody. So the last time these batteries were charged up was I believe June of 2021. So that's a year and a half. I'm sorry, that's 3.5 years. It's now early February of 2024. And we're going to see how these batteries have held a charge. Now these batteries are Sony G4s. I had them in a laptop that was built around 02, 03, and they were used hard, drained to zero, set up in storage for years. Got so hot that you see the pack actually melted to the batteries. Computer would shut off, it got too hot. I mean, they were really abused. They are now about 20 years old, and the last time I charged them was 3.5 years ago. Let's see how they held a charge. So I have an open voltage meter here, and I have a load testing meter here. So let's try the open voltage first and see how that goes. This battery measures 4.08 volts with 66 ohms resistance. Now we're going to try the pulse load testing here. Test the battery under load. Nice. Over 80% seems to agree with each other there. Our next battery. .09 volts and 55 ohms resistance. Let's test it under load. 80%. Okay. Our next one. .06 volts and 55 ohms resistance. Now let's test it under load. %. This one's 4.08 volts and 51 ohms. %. 4.09 volts and 54 ohms. %. 4.08 volts, 57 ohms. %. 4.09 volts and 52 ohms. Over 80%. .08 volts and 53 ohms resistance. This one's under 20. Let's test it again. 80%. 80%. I think we just made poor contact due to some of the material on the end of it there. I think I may have made poor contact. We'll test it once more. All right, 80%. So the worst battery in this batch of 8 out of 8 that spent several years of my college career in a laptop overheating, the case melting to them, just pure plain abuse. And then in 06 or 07, I put the laptop away and didn't mess with it for almost a decade. So they literally drained down to zero, or as close to zero as you can get. They were well under 2 volts, well under 1 volt, I believe, when I cut the pack open and took them out. And then midway through the year in 2021, I recharged them fully. And as you can see, the worst one has retained 80% of its charge. These are 20-year-old batteries. I believe that the fear about batteries getting too old, not working, whatever, is very overblown, especially as relates to EVs and stuff of that nature that has active liquid cooling, stuff like that. You know, we load tested these batteries and we tested them under open voltage, and they're good batteries. They're Sony G4s. These are an excellent battery. Maybe one of y'all can get a date code off of this. I don't know what it is or what it would be, but I believe they're 20-year-old batteries roughly, and they're doing great, especially considering the abuse. I've done things that you're not supposed to do to them, such as drain them down to almost zero in storage over a decade of sitting unused. And long story short, rechargeable batteries last longer than anybody really thought they would, in my opinion. And, you know, I'm using these in flashlights now. But, you know, Teslas, they used 18650s. I think they've gone to a 4680 or something like that. But long story short, just wanted to do a follow-up here with load testing, with proper load testing. This is a pulse load tester. It doesn't just open circuit, it tests it under load. Wanted to follow up with proper battery testing under load and demonstrate how these batteries are doing after 2 decades. And pretty happy with that. Not bad. I think that lithium-ion batteries are, again, far more durable than people give them credit for. These 20-year-old batteries maintain, I don't know their full capacity because I haven't charged them up and run them down, but I did some runtime tests and I did some other tests in other videos. But this kind of puts that to bed for me. This has been a 20-year test, and I'm very comfortable trusting rechargeables to last. Anything can have a problem, of course. You know, it's made by man. But I hope y'all enjoyed that, and that maybe it put some questions to rest about the longevity of lithium ions.